PA. So talk about coming a little bit. I know it's not exactly the area, but you know Western Pennsylvania football well. Let's talk about coming back and coming back as a little home for all this for you.
Well, it really is actually. My family, when they got off the boat, they actually settled over in Hubbard. So for me, it's pretty exciting that I've been coming to Youngstown since I was about knee high, and I've got family. I hope our season tickets have increased a little bit since I got hired. But so for me, this is exciting. I've known about Youngstown State, football and the region since I was a kid. So this is coming home.
When did you leave the area, and how much do you remember of YSU football when you were at Hubbard?
Well, I never actually lived here, but my grandfather grew up in the region. I have aunt and uncles. I'm actually staying over in Hubbard with some family right now until we get settled. But I've been coming here since I was a kid. So
what do you remember?
Great Italian food and just really great people. I mean, the whole region. The people are what make the place. So.
Carmen, what sold you on taking this position? Obviously, you were at Akron the last couple of years, so you coming right down the street.
Well, familiar for the region. First off, northwestern or northeastern Ohio, Western Pennsylvania football. The university itself. The traditions here at Youngstown State. The level of competition within this conference. For myself, it was an opportunity. I was the assistant line coach at Illinois, and it was an opportunity to have my own unit and work with the kids. So.
Working for Coach Wolford, what sold you on joining his staff? He's a first-time head coach. Obviously, there will be some growing pains, but what sold you on joining, not only coming here, but joining his staff and joining him?
I think, he's a proven coach at every level. His competitive nature and his passion for football for young men and for his staff. We have a lot of fun together as a staff. We're a good group of guys that I think early on, in our recruiting process, parents were saying to us that they were surprised that we'd just gotten hired because, and he was that central focal point. So an opportunity to work with Eric Wolford was something I jumped at.
What's your early take, or as you look at the offensive line on who you have coming back? What's your early take on your group?
I think number one, we have some good numbers. Just overall, we have 6 seniors on the offensive line as of right now. So it's a group that I've got a lot of downs, guys that have played a lot of football. So experience, number one. And, just quite frankly, on the hoof, as you look at the guys, they're as good as an offensive line. Just looking at them, that I had at Illinois or at Akron. I think there's some talent in that bunch. And they're excited to get after in spring ball. So.
Coach, you come from Illinois, a little bit different offense. Coach Wolford's talked about running the same type of offense, Juice Williams, that type of thing around here. How different is your job going to be than here? What differences are we going to see in the offensive line, and how different things are going to be on offense?
Well, I haven't spent a lot of time looking at, and obviously that power is something that has been a staple here at Youngstown State. But I haven't had an opportunity to really look back at last year a whole lot, just enough to get a general idea. But as far as schemes, we're going to run, some zone reads, some inside-outside zone. Power is definitely going to be something, being an O-line coach, I'm a believer in being able to pound the rock. So, and I don't think from that standpoint it's going to change very much.
Coach, what have you brought? What are you going to bring from your experiences at Illinois and Akron here to Youngstown? What's your biggest asset, you think?
For myself, I think it goes on par with with the head coach, which is a passion to work with young men. I think it's a reason you do this job. Do we dedicate so many hours? Your best 2 hours of a day is an opportunity to work with the guys. So whether it's in practice or meetings, they keep you young. There's a reason you wake up, and do the hours that we do, and it's a chance to work with the young men. For myself, as far as I think where my skills lie, I think it's an opportunity of connecting with young men and getting them to put everything into something.
The expectations at this university, obviously, is playoffs. Last year they finished 6-5, which was not good enough. Just the you mentioned passion. How do you get back to where this program was going to playoffs?
I don't know if there's necessarily any one thing you can put your finger on in the simple fact that I think it's there. The passion is there with these young men. They're really working their tails off in 6 a.m. runs right now, and in the weight room we're seeing a lot of gains. I think it's a matter of, in any game there's 6 to 8 plays that are going to be the difference, whether it's win or loss, but you never know what they are. I think it's just a matter of kind of making your own breaks through hard work. But I don't see that there was any one glaring weakness or problem.
As you look to spring practice, what do you need to accomplish in those 15 practices?
I think for myself and our unit, we need to establish a physical toughness. I think when you have your front, your offensive and defensive line as a group, if they're a group that play physical football, that permeates throughout the team. So establish some toughness, and find 6 or 7 guys that we feel comfortable that going into the fall that are going to play, because at this level of football you're going to have injuries, and we need to have some depth.
Coach, you had some experience working with recruiting for a MAC school with Akron. Getting MAC schools type players here has always been big at YSU. Just talk about what you're kind of looking for and what you think you found so far, and as far as you think that experience will really help you recruit for MAC type talent to bring here.
Well, absolutely. I think we signed a pretty talented group this February on signing day, and I told people that's a tribute to Youngstown State and the region and the tradition that's been here. I think when we got hired as a staff, those are the type of players that we're going to target. And I've been in the MAC. I spent 2.5 years, 3 seasons in the MAC, and looking at the level of talent, that's what we want. That's what we're going to compete against, and I think we'll do a good job in doing that. We want to let the folks know in the MAC that we're going to compete for their guys, and we come out on top more often than not. Let's hope.